Hey folks, Dwayne Grove here, your Curious Sage, with your question for today. The question for today that I chose is, what is time? Now, time is a curious thing. Here in our Western civilization, it seems like our entire lives revolve around time. I'm going to be too late for something, I'm going to be too early for something. And while time serves a very meaningful purpose for us in making sure that we are where we need to be when we need to be there, that we show up to work on time, we don't leave too early, the fact of the matter is that we've become slaves to time. And when it comes to the topic of life purpose, time is meaningless. As I look back on my own life, I think about my own life purpose and the journey that I've been on. I think far too many times I thought about, well, geez, I'm in my mid-50s now. Does that mean that I'm running out of time? As if time was some finite quantity that we're given at the time of our birth. The fact of the matter is that most of our world and many ancient civilizations had no concept at all about what time is in the sense that we look at it today. Time was all about cycles. Years ago, when I had the privilege of being in Fiji, we were next to a village, a local village, and there were no watches on this island whatsoever, no clocks, nothing to kind of keep time, if you will. Yet every morning you could see the villagers coming, they're starting their day as the sun was rising, and they got things done during the day, and when the day was over, they went back to their families and had a meal and did what they did for the evening. And there was no sense of rushing around and being late for something. It was very, very deeply moving for me to watch that. And as a result of that trip alone, I've quit wearing a watch. In fact, I have not worn a watch in I don't know how many years now. And it's been such a freeing experience because while I have to be aware of time in the sense of, oh, I have to have a time to work with a client or somebody's coming over at a certain time, I'm not attached to time anymore. And so when you think about life purpose and you think about time from an eternal perspective, it's absolutely meaningless. And so my question for you today and my challenge for you is, what is time for you? What is time doing in your life? Is it serving you or are you serving it? And I would ask you to think about that and think about that in the terms of how that either improves your life or in some ways restricts your life. One final story. Years ago when I was trying to get my meditation practice really established, I wanted to make sure I got it right. And so being very analytical, I'm an engineer by trade, I read all the books, and some books said, well, you need to sit for at least 20 minutes. Some books said you have to sit for 30 minutes. And, I was fixated on, am I sitting long enough? And a friend of mine who had studied to be a Buddhist monk in Burma was coaching me, and I was explaining my frustration with him one day. And he, out of the blue, he asked me this simple question. He said, when you sit down to eat, do you finish everything on your plate, or do you just simply eat till you're satisfied? And I thought, well, that's a curious question. What does that have to do with meditation? But I answered his question. I said, I eat until I'm satisfied. And he said, that's what you need to do when you meditate. Sit until you're satisfied. That may be a few bites, or it may be sitting for an hour, enjoying the company of people, and enjoying the moment. But if you don't finish your meal, but you eat until you're satisfied, that's how you should look at your own meditation practice. And from that point forward, it shifted my way of looking at meditation altogether. So my entire life now can become a meditation. Matter of fact, it is a meditation, whether I'm walking in the woods or I'm spending time with my spouse or family members. I can be fully present in that moment in a very meditative way. So think about what time means to you and ask yourself this simple question. Is time serving you, or are you serving time? Thanks a lot. If this video has any insight for you and you want to learn more, you can find me at connecttoaction.com. That's connect with number 2 in the middle, action.com. I'd love to hear more from you. Thanks and have a great day.